Hi, I'm John McAuliffe, Chief Marketing Officer at VFM Leonardo, and welcome to the VTV channel. Today we have Karen Plumb from TripAdvisor with us. Karen is the Commercial Director leading the Business Listings Commercial Team in EMEA for TripAdvisor's business division. She leads sales, marketing, and product enhancement campaigns aimed at hoteliers, B&Bs, and other accommodation providers throughout the region. Karen has a wealth of experience having worked in the hotel industry at both Intercontinental Hotels and Thistle Hotels before moving into the online media environment at Cheap Flights. Most recently, Karen was at Pegasus Solutions, where she was responsible for the hotel and e-marketing for UTEL Hotels and Resorts. Karen, thank you for joining us on VTV and welcome.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to speak to you.
It's a pleasure to have TripAdvisor on our channel so that hoteliers can learn a little bit more about how they can use TripAdvisor to enhance their e-commerce activities. Certainly, as we are all pretty much aware, TripAdvisor is a major site attracting millions and millions of users each month. So it's pretty safe to say that a large majority of the population to go to TripAdvisor before they book their accommodations. So today what we want to talk about is how can a hotelier extract more value out of their presence, and how can they, by maximizing the visual impact of their hotel page on TripAdvisor. Certainly we think of TripAdvisor as guest reviews, but there's a great opportunity for hoteliers to enhance their presence with visuals. And I saw in a recent study that you published that you found that consumers are 150% more engaged on hotel listings that have 20+ photos. How did you discover this fact?
Well, I think we do, as TripAdvisor is such a large site, you're quite correct. We have over 40 million unique users a month, which equates to 5 million unique users a day looking at our site. So we're always looking at ways to improve our site, and we do quite a lot of engagement studies. So it is one of the things we've looked at, and we found that properties with over 20 photos, people spend over 150% more, they're 150% more engaged with that page, which means they're spending more time, they're taking the time to look through all the photos. I think travellers want to see the full picture of a property, both on the reviews and on the visual side. In fact, they say pictures can paint more than words in many cases. So they want to spend the time before they spend their hard-earned money on deciding where to stay.
Right, and when you talk about engagement, specifically what do you mean by 150% higher engagement?
We measure engagement by the amount of time people spend on the specific property page. So obviously they're spending the time looking through photos, and they can look at the photos can be both posted by hoteliers. So a hotelier has the power to put more photos onto their page. In fact, they can put an unlimited number of photos. So I would encourage every hotelier out there to check how many photos their TripAdvisor listing page has. And if it isn't 20, or even if it is 20, make sure that they load as many photos as they can. And the other thing they can load, of course, is video. They can load an unlimited amount of videos. The only restrictions are that it has to be under 100 megs and under 10 minutes in length. And obviously we have various file format types that we accept. But the full details are in the Owner Centre, the TripAdvisor Owner Centre. But again, that's another great way to show off your property. And a video can be tagged by up to 6 words to help them show up in searches, not specifically for that property itself, but on destinations and other ways. So it's a great opportunity to get further exposure for your property to TripAdvisor travellers.
And certainly, when you talk about engagement being length of time that a consumer spends on a particular hotel listing page, one of the tenets of e-commerce is the longer the engagement, the higher the chance of conversion. Do you see an increase in the amount of engagement that consumers have on a hotel listing page when video is present versus just photos?
Unfortunately, I don't have that data, but I would certainly guess that that's the case. And obviously, if people are spending the time and they're putting their hard-earned time against looking at these things and spending that commitment, obviously the expectation is that that's much more likely to convert into an action for the property.
Right. Certainly on our side, I think it's Forrester that recently came out with a report that said 2011 is the year of the video, and they found that, interestingly enough, 21% of travel shoppers online had viewed video prior to making a booking. More interesting to me, though, is very few of those video views were on YouTube, which is where everybody seems to think, or at least hoteliers seem to think people are watching videos. And in particular case with TripAdvisor being a review site or categorized as a review site, 20% of them were watching videos on review sites. So that ability to actually engage that consumer with video is a good opportunity to increase engagement levels on TripAdvisor.
I think so, and I think everyone's aware that when people take things in different ways, and pictorial content, video content, some people find that easier to assimilate and understand than written content. So it reaches people and tells a story in a different way to engage with people. And
have you found that on TripAdvisor, particularly on the portal that, or the opportunity for the hotelier to upload their own content to their listing page is displayed in the same areas as where consumers are uploading their photos? Have you seen, or is there any impact on a consumer on visuals posted by guests versus those posted by the hotel?
The way we display photos is we quite clearly label them as the source, whether they're from travellers or from the hotelier. And I think it's people can then choose to filter the photos depending on whether they just want to see review photos or hotelier photos. But it's such an excellent opportunity for hoteliers to show the property in the light, to highlight refurbishments, or to show the views that any traveller photos haven't put up. So again, it's a free tool, and hoteliers can go to our owner centre and upload the photos and videos. And then indeed, they can go there and upload descriptive content as well, which is something that, again, that hotels can use to reflect events, seasonal things that are happening in their properties, as well as making sure they have the right information in terms of facilities they offer. So really, I think the one thing that hoteliers should invest the time is just making sure that they're putting their property in the best light forward by using the free tools that we offer to make sure we promote their property in the right way.
Right. But as a consumer, do I look at, or do consumers on TripAdvisor look at user-generated content or user-generated photos in a different way than they look at those photos that are produced by the hotelier?
I don't think so. I think on the whole, people just look through the photos, and as we know, they're already more engaged when the more photos they are. So the more photos they are, whether they're reviewer or hotelier posted photos, it all counts to that engagement factor.
Right. So it seems like there's an awful lot of work as a hotelier that I would need to do to have a completely enhanced listing on TripAdvisor. If there were one thing that I had time to do, what would you recommend a hotelier do on their TripAdvisor listing?
Well, basically, the first thing to do is register in the owner centre. That only takes a minute. And then just making sure all the information is correct, be it the description, the amenities, the photos and videos. A lot of this stuff is quite static, so it's something that perhaps a hotelier can diarise and perhaps do every 6 months to make sure that any new photos and videos is up to date. The one thing that they do need to do more often, though, is to engage in the traveller reviews and to make sure that they're responding to reviews. And that adds quite a lot of reassurance to travellers. In fact, we did a survey by Forrester on TripAdvisor travellers, and they've said that 71% are reassured by management responses. So that's quite a key thing for hoteliers to invest the time. But hopefully it's about prioritisation, and with TripAdvisor having the significant amount of traffic that it does have, that hoteliers will think it's worth the while to invest the time, and also not to be passive. They can be active in this conversation with travellers.
Right. Karen, thank you very much for sharing with us how hoteliers can use visual content to enhance their listing on TripAdvisor. We appreciate the time that you spent with us on VTV today.
Thank you, John.
To all the viewers out there, be sure to post your comments on this episode of VTV and subscribe to our feed to receive more valuable insights from industry experts. If you would like to suggest topics that you would like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to email us at vtv@vfmleonardo.com with your suggestions.